This is the top chef. It uses its own bald head as a food ingredient. First, apply a layer of flour. Beat a few more eggs and spread evenly. Next is the crucial step. Wrap his head in bread crumbs. Be sure to roll a few more laps. Ensure that every part can be touched. Finally, with proud steps, he arrived at the cooking area. Turn on timer. Plunge one end into the pot. This superb cooking stunned everyone. Everyone thinks he's crazy, but everyone doesn't know. The reason why he became this way is only because he offended a strange phone. To be precise, it's the owner of this phone, David. David is a famous loser in school. Short stature with poor grades and wearing a pair of large steel teeth. But I don't know where he got the courage. But he fell in love with the school flower. Under the instigation of his good friend, David rushed to the school flower on his skateboard. Glamorous eye flick. Exposed large steel teeth. Then, this is really embarrassing, but I didn't expect this wave of operations to make the school flower think David is quite cute. She actually wants to exchange phone numbers with David in order to contact him. Unfortunately, David is too poor. There's no phone at all, but he doesn't want to miss the opportunity. So he had to go home and ask his mother for money to buy a phone. But mom searched through her wallet and only found 30 yuan. This money is not enough to buy a phone case. He held out hope to find the owner of the fried chicken shop where he worked. This boss is already 2 months behind with his salary. He wants the boss to give him his salary. He didn't expect the boss to be very cheerful this time. Take out a 100 yuan bill directly. David is very excited, but soon he realized that it was just a coupon. Look at David's teasing expression. The boss laughed uncontrollably behind him. There's no way. David can only buy a second phone, but even so, 30 yuan is not enough. Just when David was planning to give up, the boss took out a mysterious box from the back room. This box seems to have a strange magic. David was instantly attracted. Then the boss presses the button. Open the box. Inside is a strangely shaped red phone. The boss said that only this 30 yuan is enough. David didn't hesitate to pay directly. He picked up his phone and asked the boss how to turn it on. The boss immediately laughed shamelessly. Say this is a phone model. Upon hearing this, David immediately wanted to take back his own money. Of course the boss won't give it. Just then, the phone suddenly lit up. Then David's face appeared on this phone. It turned on unexpectedly. The boss immediately wanted to grab it back. Fortunately, David reacted quickly and ran away with his phone. He came to school, go straight to the school flower and asked for the phone number, but was mocked by the school flower's best friend. This girl said his phone is really ugly. However, the girl did not realize that. Her words have already angered this phone. Don't mess with this phone. This girl just said, it's ugly. It gets angry. Continue to seek revenge. In chemistry class, the phone suddenly lights up. It automatically makes a call. The one who answered the phone was this black-haired girl. A strange voice on the phone issued an order to her. After hanging up the phone, the girl has a dull expression. Then she lit the alcohol burner. With a bang, she set the blonde girl's hair on fire. The laboratory suddenly became a mess. Fortunately, the teacher saved the blonde girl's life with a fire extinguisher. As for the hairstyle, in the future, she can only be accompanied by a headscarf. And strangely enough, afterwards, the black-haired girl had no memory of what she had done. At this time, the owner of the phone, David, is not yet aware what a terrifying existence his phone is. On the second day of math class, David is chatting with his classmates below. The teacher threw over a piece of chalk. Also asked David to give the answer to the question just now. David looked confused. What question? Just then, the answer automatically appeared on the phone. David couldn't think much before he read out the answer. The teacher immediately determined that he had cheated on his phone. Just ask him to hand over his phone. Then the teacher threw the phone out directly. After class, David hurriedly went to find his phone. Fortunately, the phone wasn't broken, not even a scratch, but the math teacher had an accident. That night, he was correcting his homework. Suddenly the phone rings. There's that eerie sound inside again. After putting down the phone, the teacher's gaze became extremely terrifying. The next day, when the cleaner comes to clean up, just saw a terrifying scene. David woke up from his sleep. He just opened his eyes and saw the cake projected by his phone. So today is his birthday. Revenge against the math teacher. It was the birthday gift given to David by his phone. At this moment, David finally realized that there was something wrong with this phone. He found out from the call log. The phones inside are all from the people who have had an accident recently. It seems that whoever this phone is called to can control others' thoughts. To verify this hypothesis, David called the principal assistant. He tentatively asked if they could improve the school food. He wants a hamburger with French fries and a glass of Coke. The second day of the results, students have truly achieved hamburger freedom. David completely drifted away after understanding the functions of his phone. He first took off the braces he had been wearing for 10 years. He used his phone to get a limited edition sports car again. Then David controlled the goddess's thoughts and made her date him. So David began to reach the pinnacle of his life. That day, he invited the goddess to the cinema. He just wanted to confess that he found his phone left in the car. He is afraid of any unexpected situation. Hurry back to the car to get it. Just then, a wealthy school bully appears at the school. Turns out he also likes the school flower. Seeing the school flower dating David, he became very jealous. Just go up and give David a punch. He even had his younger brother steal David's car keys. The three of them got into the car and flew away. However, these bullies never expected their nightmare to begin. Three wealthy second generation just grabbed a sports car. However, this was the beginning of their nightmare. At this moment, the mobile phone left by the owner of the sports car rang. One of the men answered the phone. A strange sound rang out inside. In an instant, The man became expressionless. Then he jumped out of the car directly, rolling on the ground for several hundred meters before stopping. When he reacted from the shock, he found himself safe and sound. He just wanted to suppress the shock. A large truck is coming head-on. After all, he still hasn't escaped the palm of death. On the other side, David and the goddess were taken away by the police as soon as they left the cinema. Only then did they know that the wealthy second generation had taken his car and a homicide occurred. And the police found David's phone at the scene. They suspected that David was involved in this murder case. David knows very well in his heart that this was done by his phone, but he doesn't know how to explain to the police officer. Just then, his phone automatically dials out the call again. It was called to the police. When he finished answering the phone, the whole person has changed. Not only did he tear down the record of this case, but he also respectfully sent the two people out of the police station. After coming out, David heard about the owner of the fried chicken shop. Obviously, this is because he owed David salary. The phone helped David recover his revenge. David finally realized the horror of this phone. Just ask why it's doing this on Earth. And 3 words appeared on the phone. I love you. David thinks this is too outrageous. To prevent the tragedy from happening again, he decided to destroy the phone. First, use a hammer to smash, and thrust it with an awl again. But this phone is intact. There's no way. David can only throw it into a deep well. David finally realized the horror of this phone. To prevent the tragedy from happening again, he decided to destroy the phone. First, use a hammer to smash, and thrust it with an awl again. But this phone is intact. There's no way. David can only throw it into a deep well. Who knew that the miners would find David the next day? It turned out that the phone was controlling the miner to return it. After waiting for someone to leave, this phone is calling David. Because it was abandoned by David, so it decided to take revenge. It wants to kill everyone around David. Sure enough, something went wrong with the school flower soon. She is discussing the recent murder case with a group of friends. Suddenly everyone's phones took turns ringing. It's from this red phone. The results can be imagined. Fortunately, David and Bob also arrived here. They saved the school flower in time. At present, they can only save everyone by completely destroying this phone. They put the phone into the hydraulic press. Soon the phone was crushed into a square. Now it's finally ruined. However, the next second, the phone has been restored to its original state. They came to the school laboratory again. Wanna use sulfuric acid to destroy the phone. But at this point, the anger level of the phone has already exploded. It dialed all the students' phones one after another. Immediately after, the entire school rushed into the teaching building under the control of this mobile phone, trying to catch the 3 of them. Critical moment. David saw a liquid nitrogen tank. He immediately threw his phone in. Mobile phone instantly frozen. That pair of demons' eyes finally extinguished. The controlled students gradually returned to normal. They have no idea what happened just now. Finally, the 3 of them took a ship and arrived at the sea. They threw the liquid nitrogen tank that sealed the demon phone into the deep sea. After experiencing life and death, David and the goddess finally came together happily. Just ask if you really have such a phone. Do you want to have it?